And we'll also be taking your calls on hay fever. So if you're not sneezing and can make a little phone call down, if you've got any questions at all, you can always ring our open line. That's 0171 691 5000. I'll just give you that again, 0171 691 5000. Now, our next guest, by a strange coincidence, both studied to be lawyers but ended up becoming actors. Their combined careers have seen them play alongside Michael Caine, Jasper Carrott and the Daleks. But although the law firm of Powell and Baker never actually happened, their partnership on stage has. So will you welcome my learned gentlemen, Robert Powell and Colin Baker.
Good luck,
Where you two do it? It doesn't matter either place, really. Just move up along.
All right. Where are you going,
Where are you going?
You tell me where to go.
Make up your minds and sit down.
You wouldn't think we'd been working together for the last 3 months, would you?
We haven't rehearsed this,
Were you doing funny things, just sort of waiting to come through the door?
No.
I heard a little rumble amongst my audience, and I thought, what are those two boys up to?
No.
What was he doing? What was he doing?
Never. We wouldn't do anything like that.
Have you two worked together before?
No, we haven't. No. Not until this year.
Not until this year. And now you're in the
Shall we again, you ask?
But apparently you do have a lot of coincidences and a lot of parallels to talk about.
Yes, it is odd, isn't it? We only discovered these. We've known each other for a long time. We've known each other for about 20 years. And it's only since we started to work together that we discovered all these odd things about being both from Manchester, both Geminis, both started reading law, both fell out of law and became actors. So it's odd, isn't it?
Yes. But apart from that...
Nothing at all in common.
Except that's not enough to be going on with.
It's quite extraordinary. That, and even at school, we both do classics. It's quite unusual to do classics now.
Yeah.
Latin and Greek to A-level, both of us.
So were you sort of idly sitting around on the set then discussing this and that and suddenly discovered all these coincidences?
Well, I suppose it started to happen quite early in rehearsal, didn't it? I think one of the girls said something about birth signs, which I don't attach much importance to. And the Gemini bit came up, and I said, oh, you come from Manchester as well. And I knew that Robert had gone to Manchester Grammar, and I went to St Bede's College, which is another grammar school in Manchester. And then we asked a few questions and found out all these other similarities. I mean, but the passage to acting via law, though, is quite extraordinary.
Very unusual. How many years did you individually study, Colin?
I did 5 years.
That's a long time.
Yes, you saw the light a little quicker, didn't you?
I think the light saw me a bit quicker.
How long did you last, Robert?
Almost a year.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
And then what? Was it this sort of like underlying burning ambition to act that just took over, or why the decision to give up?
Well, with me it was accidental. I was doing more in the theatre at the university than I was in the tutorials, and I got invited to change courses, to go on to do a BA in drama. Unfortunately, so I walked out of the law course and prepared myself to take up this other course, only to discover that I hadn't qualified. So I was kind of out on my ear anyway. They said to keep on.
And after 5 years, Colin, I mean, some might say, what a waste of good education.
Well, no, I'm pretty good on contracts. I scrutinise your contract today very carefully.
So it comes in very handy.
It's all right, yes. You can dub me into Martian, it's all right. No, what happened to me was when I was 18, I said to my father, said, what do you want to do? And I said, I'd like to go to Oxford University, I'd like to study modern languages, and while I'm there, I want to join OUDS and I want to become an actor. And there was a brief pause, and he said, well, you start at the solicitor's office on Monday. I said, oh, all right.
Simple as that.
And that's how it happened. And after 5 years, like you, I started doing a bit of acting and found that that's what I really liked. And I was supposed to be going down to London to work in a solicitor's office there, and I went and auditioned for drama schools instead.
And here you are, all that success behind the pair of you. Now, the other thing that occurred to me was the fact that both of you have had hugely international and hugely important roles. In your case, Robert, Jesus of Nazareth, and then, of course, we have Doctor Who. So, in a way, have those been, although they were marvellous to do, have there been a bit of a bone of contention, too, to sort of get over? How do you top Jesus?
Well, I think I'd better answer.
No, not really. People often ask me and say, does it worry that people remember it? And I have to say, and remind me of it and talk about it. And I must say that I'm deeply flattered that after 22 years since I made it, that people still regard it. I'm very flattered. I'm not unhappy about that at all.
Now, I wasn't thinking so much of the unhappiness of it. I mean, obviously, it was a fantastic role to play. But it's just that when you have such a strong part and get so strongly identified with something like that, is it hard then to sometimes move on, I mean, into an equally big film or an equally big project?
it's hard to convince people who don't know you that you've done anything else. That was sort of a bit of a problem in America, because they fully expected me to arrive with beard and robe when I went to do the promo. And they were a bit shocked when they saw me with short hair and beardless, because they couldn't quite grasp that. But here, no, I don't think it's ever held me back. I mean, it's been beneficial in every way, I think.
And do you look back with joy on Doctor Who?
Yes, yes. I mean, it does carry its little curse with it. And any successful programme that you do on television is going to restrict the imagination, not of the audience, because actually audiences, I believe, quite like to see actors doing different things. Oh, he's the chap that was in Doctor Who, and look what he's doing now, how interesting. But I think producers and directors have a different attitude. They don't want the audience doing precisely that. They think, while the audience is thinking, oh, look, there's that bloke who used to play Doctor Who, they should be thinking, oh, look, there's the character you're playing. So for a while there is a reticence to cast you in other things. But at the same time, there is a great welcoming of you in the theatre, because they hope that you'll be able to attract audiences because you're...
As indeed you're doing at the moment,
yes.
Out on tour until July. So Kind Hearts and Coronets, originally a very, very famous film. So I gather, Robert, you do a lot of killing off, really, basically.
Yes. I kill him 12 times on a Saturday. Oh. Twice nightly.
Twice nightly. So just to sub down your role.
Serial killer. I play a serial killer, serial philanderer, who, during the evening, tells the story of his life, starting from the eve of his own execution. Tells the story of his life, which obviously involves how he arrived in the condemned cell via murdering Mr. Baker several times.
And you're never off stage, Robert, are you?
No, I'm not. So this is the thing, of course, is that anything can happen, it frequently does, but Colin can always get off stage. So what happens is that he gets off stage looking at me with this extraordinary look of surprise on his face, exit, and I am left on stage now having to talk for the next 3 or 4 minutes to the audience with egg all over my face. With this wig on back.
Sounds a very interesting play, and although it is about murder, I gather a lot of comedy in it as well. So
yes.
Thank you both very much indeed for joining us, and good luck with your tour until July.
Yes,
it's a long time. Thank you very much, Colin and Robert.
Thank you very much, everyone. Did you enjoy it? I'm sure you did. Hope so. Come back again. See you soon.